Hello everyone and welcome to another review here from the Czech Republic. Thank you very much for watching. Today I'm going to do a slightly different review, compared to the other reviews that I'm normally doing, because I'm not going to review a beer or a beer related drink today. Instead, I'm going to review a coffee. And the reason why is I will share the reason why with you as well, because it is a little bit kind of out of what I try to do with this channel. But I was really amazed today when I went to buy this. We woke up this morning and we realized, probably some of you can relate. You wake up in the morning and you realize, ah, no, I'm out of coffee, which is not a great start to the day, particularly if it's Monday. And it just kind of, like you have this Monday feeling anyway. You don't want to get out of bed after, a nice weekend. And then, you have to, and you realize, oh no, there is no coffee. Well, it is what it is. I did manage to get out of bed and get ready anyway. I did the school drive to Prague this morning, and I came back and I went shopping, just this afternoon, for a few basic things. And I went to Kaufland. It's kind of my regular shop where I would normally go to locally. It's very close to us in the next town. Now in our village we don't have any shop. So I usually go to the next town where they have Kaufland. And I usually do my shopping there, or if I go to Litomyjice, I would go to either Kaufland or to Albert. But today I went to Kaufland, and I was looking for coffee. So as I was going through the coffee aisle, and I normally look for, the regular kind of brands that we all know, like the Nescafe. So, the instant coffee, that you just put water in and then you stir it a little bit and you got your coffee. Or recently, my parents actually, when they came to visit us here in the Czech Republic, they brought us a coffee machine as a gift because, back home, they usually drink their coffee from a coffee machine. We normally used to have the instant coffee, but they decided to gift us a coffee machine, which was quite nice. So now we have a bit of a mix of instant coffee and the coffee that you put through the coffee machine, with the coffee filter and so on, the more kind of traditional or older fashioned way, I would say. And usually I look for the likes of the Nescafes, the Jacobs, and whatever they are called. And the reason why I do that is because I know them. And that's the only reason why. I'm not really fussed about my coffee in the morning. I just would like to have a little bit of coffee taste, a little bit of coffee aroma. But I'm not a coffee sommelier. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between what is what and what is better, what is worse, or whatever. The only thing that I really want in the morning is a coffee that tastes as like coffee, and that's it really. Whether it's instant or from the machine. Now the machine tends to give you a little bit of a different aroma than the instant coffee does. You get a stronger aroma from the ground coffee, from the machine. But that's the only difference I can really tell. But I tend to go for these known brands. Also Jilavanka, which is an actual Czech brand. I sometimes get them as well. But I just don't look for anything else. But these brands that I've just mentioned, they tend to be higher on the price scale. So when I was walking through the aisle today, through the coffee aisle, one thing that really stood out for me, and it's not something that I would have even looked at if there wouldn't have been this red price tag saying 14.90 for 500 grams of Kaufland standard roasted ground coffee. Now 14.90, so that's 14.9. That works out in Czech crowns. That works out at around kind of between 60 and 62 euro cents for 500 grams of roasted ground coffee. Now I have to look at the packaging because I don't even know what it's called. I don't even, I just grab them and then I make them and I get that coffee aroma. But this one for 62 euro cents converted into euros that brings me, compared to the other coffees that we normally have, which would be sitting at around the kind of €4, €5, €6 mark for the same kind of volume, in terms of the weight, 500 grams. I mean, this is a tremendously cheap price. So I thought, hang on a sec, I'm gonna try this today. Because again, I'm not fussed about, the coffee itself. Again, I'm not a coffee expert. So why not give this a go and see what it's like? Now, of course, when we look at the prices, and again, it had the red price tag on it, which means it's a special offer. This one today was 14.90 in Czech crowns. It normally comes at 55 crowns 90, which works out at around kind of €2.30, €2.35, which is still a very good price compared to the more expensive brands. But 62 euro cents or 60 euro cents, I mean, it's almost nothing, right? So I got 2 packs, one because I wanted to do the video, so I got one more. I opened one to actually have a coffee now and share my opinion with you, and then one actually for the video. And I thought, well, if it is so bad, then I would have wasted €1, €1.20. It's really not that much of a loss. But so I bought 2 packs and I wanted to see what it's like. And today I'm going to share my opinion with you on this extremely cheap coffee that was available on special offer in Kaufland today. Now I was wondering where it is produced, how is this possible that they, kind of throw it out like that, almost at, zero. I mean, it's almost like they're giving it away. But it's not produced anywhere, anywhere exotic or anywhere extremely cheap. It actually is produced by a company called Röstfein, which is based in Magdeburg in Germany, which makes sense because Kaufland is a German brand, just with supermarkets all over Europe. But it wasn't produced in any country where they produce at a ridiculously cheap manufacturing cost. It was produced in Germany, so let's see. But it wasn't what I expected. Maybe it's produced somewhere, I don't know where, somewhere in Asia, or somewhere, but it's actually produced in Germany. So I'm really curious what this coffee is all about at this price of 62 euro cents for 500 grams. So let's give this a go. In order to make the comparison valuable for myself, I have added a little bit of milk, the way I would normally have my coffee in the morning. I'm using my regular coffee cup. It has a little bit of chip here. I'm sorry about that, but I've had this for years and years, and I just love this mug. It's just great, in the morning. So let's see what this coffee is all about, and if for 62 euro cents, if the quality is comparable to some of the other brands, the more known brands and the more expensive brands, or if this is a coffee that I will have once and never again. So let's see. Overall, I'm really getting a coffee aroma, something that I like in the mornings when I wake up, to get that little bit of aroma, that coffee aroma, to really set you up for the day. And now let's see what it's like in terms of taste. Yeah, one more. I'm sorry I was slurping a little bit, but I tend to do that when it's kind of hot drinks. Again, what I said earlier is I'm not a coffee expert, so I'm not going to go into details about what I have just tasted here and so on, because I don't think I would have the ability and the knowledge to do that. But what I can tell you is that if I just make the comparison to all of the other bigger known coffee brands that I usually have, that I usually look out for, simply because I know them, I don't feel a difference here at all. And this is really amazing. I think this is absolutely amazing that, if I'm considering that I normally spend between 4 and 6 euro for 500 grams of standard coffee versus the 62 euro cents that I've spent today on this, although it was on special offer, usually it's around 2.30, I don't feel a difference here at all. And I think this is absolutely incredible. And it really goes to show what has been mentioned on numerous occasions, by a lot of people who are doing reviews and for different products. That just because it isn't a brand doesn't mean it's bad. It is a brand. It is Kaufland's own brand coffee. But it's not one of these major coffee brands that that people would go for because of the name. It's not a brand like that, but it doesn't. It's not of less quality, and I think that's absolutely amazing. So when I'm going out to purchase coffee, in the future, I will definitely look for this one, because if it's not in special offer, then it will set me back 2.30 euros versus between 4 and 6 euros, and I'm kind of getting the same. But again, this is my opinion as a non-educated in the coffee sense, coffee drinker. So I'm not an expert. I have no knowledge about coffee, about the coffee making process, about the coffee beans that should be used, and so on and so forth. I'm just a regular coffee drinker in the morning who is just looking for his coffee, and sometimes in the afternoon, like on a Saturday or Sunday, you're having a piece of cake with it as well. But I wouldn't go as far as being able to tell much about the coffee that I'm drinking, because I just want to have a coffee and I want to get that little bit of coffee aroma, the coffee scent, and that's all I'm really looking for. And this gave all of this to me. So I'm really amazed. I'm really surprised as well that it just gives me the same at such a big price difference. And for 62 euro cents, I think I may have bought Europe's cheapest coffee today. I don't know the coffee prices in other European countries, but I have been, I don't know them exactly, but I have lived and worked in different countries across Europe, and I don't think I've ever bought 500 grams of coffee, at least not to my knowledge. I can't remember a time where I bought 500 grams of coffee for 62 euro cents. And I think today I'm really drinking Europe's cheapest coffee. Now, I was wondering, why are they, okay, the price is usually 2.30. Today, in euros, today it was around 62 euro cents. Why are they doing it? Why is it so cheap? It's over 70% price reduction. And I thought, well, maybe it's out of date, or it will go out of date very soon. But it doesn't. It's actually, it's got a shelf life until the 16th of July 2024. So that's still almost a year of shelf life. And for that, I think it's absolutely fantastic value for money. And it really goes to show that just because it isn't a brand, a kind of a famous brand name, it doesn't lack the quality. It doesn't mean it's worse than others, than the big brands are. But again, this is an opinion coming from somebody who is not a coffee sommelier, who is not a coffee expert, just somebody who really loves his coffee in the morning and maybe sometimes in the afternoon. Now, the special offer, I think it's on until Wednesday. So if you watch this video today or tomorrow, maybe go to your local Kaufland to see if there's any left. Like I said, I bought 2 packs. I'm really happy that I did. I think it's really fantastic value for money, and especially now in these times where inflation has hit every country across Europe, and particularly, or maybe not particularly, probably across the world as well. People are looking to make savings, and I think this, I'm really glad I made that saving today. It, you know, it's not lacking any quality. I'm not missing anything, and I will probably continue to make comparisons between these supermarket brands and the brands that we know, and see, where's the difference? Is there a difference? And maybe see what kind of products can I buy for myself, in the sense of the the supermarket brands versus products that are from other brands, and see where I can make that saving, compared to what I've usually spent on brands, just because I knew their name and that's all it was. So overall, if you see this, I can definitely recommend this. If you're in the Czech Republic at the moment and you maybe want to make a bargain, head to Kaufland until Wednesday. The special offer is on. 14.90 Czech crowns. That's 62 euro cents for 500 grams of standard coffee, which again I believe has to be Europe's cheapest coffee. If you have had this before, or if you know of a coffee for 500 grams that is even cheaper than this, let me know in the comments. And subscribe to my channel for more reviews, particularly beer reviews here from the Czech Republic. And I really hope I will see you again in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.